Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button like it's your Alabama cousin, so it reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number 1, if a man pays child support and finds out later that the child isn't his, should the woman pay it back? Of course she should, but the courts won't agree to that. The money has already been spent on shoes, cute outfits, nails, etc. Or even, God forbid, the actual child it was intended for. This would all be stopped with DNA testing at birth. But again, the courts won't allow that either. It would also never happen because the government would have to return the tax dollars it collected from the man for that money. Up next, if you met this hot purple-haired woman on a dating site and she told you that she would only meet with you if you were a supporter of the alphabet people rights movement, what would you do? Well, that all depends on which version of the alphabet people she's referring to. If they're pre or post-woke. I support the pre-woke ones. Also, she may be beautiful on the outside, but you know that won't last. But I'd probably stay away because the hair is how nature signals to you to stay away from dangerous creatures. Number 3, Ellen DeGeneres says she's quitting Hollywood, and we won't see her again. I vaguely recall seeing this man on television once, but seriously, that means she's totally on the P. Diddy list. I also recently heard that she went on tour, but that no one showed up. But you know, she's probably just saying this to get attention, and she'll go back to television in a week or two. Moving on, a woman lost a ton of weight after being called a fat fuck by her cheating husband and mistress. Her husband is a hero and it looks like his fat shaming saved her life. Fat shaming works. Otherwise, how else do you think that Asian girls stay so skinny and dainty? Sometimes love means being mean. Rob Schneider sent his daughter to fat camp and she's still pissed off decades later. But is she fat? No. As for this woman, she probably lost the weight because of the fear of losing her high-value husband to another woman. Number 5, a woman wrote to Dear Abby saying she gained more than 100 pounds and that her husband no longer found her attractive. One of my exes back when I liked big girls gained a bunch of weight and I found her even more attractive. And so she just kept on gaining until her family had to intervene and ruin all my fun. I guess I lucked out 20 years ago. Today, fat women have too much attitude and no, I'm no longer attracted to large ladies. Only up to 400 pounds. Beyond that is way too much. After that, it's just gross. Up next, the divorce rate for male-male couples is 28%. And for female couples, the divorce rate is 72%. But you know that women will somehow blame men for the higher female divorce rate. It must be because of the patriarchy and white supremacy getting into lesbians' bedrooms, breaking them up or something. You know, I've personally broken up several lesbian couples. But we know the truth, that even women find other women insufferable. The bromance of long-lasting male relationships must be a cockspiracy. Number 7, women on TikTok are saying that hookup culture would be decimated if Roe vs. Wade was overturned. But was it? Of course not. It probably got even worse. These women are threatening the world with a good future. Hookup culture is coming to an end one way or another, with either fertility rates collapsing until all that remains are the Amish and Jewish traditionalists, or when the sex bots come out and all or most of women out there can no longer get a man. Moving on, in 1719, prisoners in Paris were offered freedom on the condition that they would marry a prostitute and then move to Louisiana, that they at least get to pick their prostitutes. Or was it like, here garçon, here's your new wife, Herpes Helen. That's just her nickname. Nothing to worry about there. The two of you will be very happy together in an alligator-filled swamp eating gumbo. I bet a lot of those women went missing on the ships that were carrying them to the New World. This would be the equivalent of marrying a lonely fool's creator. Number 9, Bill Burr gets it when he says that when women speak of equality, they speak of being equal to the top 20% of men out there. The other 80% of men are just invisible to them. Every woman sees herself as a 10, even though she's a 2. Poor Bill, it looks like he married a 2 and started acting like a simp ever since. His humor has gone way down in recent years. Up next, the Salt Lake City man who sold at least 120,000 fake vaccination record cards was sentenced to a year in prison. Is he a hero or villain? What about the individuals that coerced others to get the real vax cards, only to have them get an injury or die from the cure? Those people deserve far more attention. As for this guy, his reward is probably that he ended up saving a lot of lives, even though it ultimately cost him his freedom. Good guys get locked up and the bad ones run free, it seems. Number 11, the defense minister of New Zealand is appalled. That people are saying that one of their ships sank because it had a female captain. Sounds like this defense minister, Judith Collins, is feeling defensive. This lesbian captain is responsible because she was in command when it ran aground. The buck stops with her. But we all know how well women take accountability. The real question is, why didn't she go down with the ship? Moving on, why can't we meet somewhere in the middle? The woman on the left is covered up way too much, and the woman on the right isn't covered enough. It's as though civilization has developed where some women have gone extremely conservative and others have gone extremely liberal. The woman on the right, though, if she lives long enough, she could also find herself in a burqa. Islam might as well be called Hislam because many men in the culture believe that a woman's body is their body, and therefore it's their choice to cover it up. Number 13 scientists have found that women experience the highest stress when their husbands are lying on the couch doing nothing. The moral of the story is that if you want to find out what's on your woman's mind, make her upset when you sit on the couch and look comfortable. They especially experience the high stress when the man is sick. If he has a man cold, then they go after him like he's some sort of wounded prey. Maybe the purpose of women is to make men do things that we don't want to do. Up next, if you get divorced and your wife passes away, and you think you can get away from paying alimony, then you're mistaken. In Madras, India, a court has ruled that a deceased wife's mother is entitled to alimony. If this doesn't prove to you that women will do anything they can to fleece a man out of money and resources, then I don't know what will. But this is good in a way because more Indian men will just go their own way. Number 15, and speaking of South Asia, here's a story about why Pakistan should be on every solo female traveler's bucket list. Hopefully they geo-targeted white liberal women with this ad. I don't think anyone else would be stupid enough to fall for it. Kame says sure, as long as those women do all the other things on their bucket list first, because odds are they won't be coming back. Also, here's a picture of the authors of this piece. Moving on, we have a woman that says she needs a man to provide for her, but she won't spend a penny on him. Of course she won't. It looks like she's already spent all her money on plastic surgery. She looks like a chipmunk stuffing nuts into her multiple cheeks. She also kind of reminds me of a G.I. Joe I microwaved when I was 7. Women are turning themselves into cartoon characters, and they all seem to want to date Scrooge McDuck. The craziest part is that she actually thinks she looks good. Number 17, we have more revisionist history from the Alphabet People gang. Now they're saying that King Arthur might have been LGBT because he once wore women's clothing. Then again, maybe he just had a sense of humor and put on a dress once as a joke. Also, since King Arthur is mostly a folklore legend, I'd like to hear their grounds for making this accusation. Then again, Lancelot was French, so maybe that does raise some questions. Up next, a woman tells Skeletor that it takes a real man to date single mothers. Skeletor says that she's single, grew up without a father, her kid has no father, and yet she's telling him what a real man is, even though she's never even had one in her whole life. Women usually use the term real man to shame a man into becoming a slave for them. A real man is just someone who women can exploit. Number 19, now the police are seizing your car if you're caught catcalling a female jogger. The joggers were undercover officers in disguise. Don't the police have anything better to do than this? Of course, this happened in the crazy UK. But pretty soon the police will realize that the results are racism, and this will get shut down, because it'll be mostly minorities getting fined. Also, I'm thinking these undercover officers enjoyed this assignment. Everyone knows that the police are just road pirates, paid with your money to steal your money. Moving on, here's what it's like when you're KFC's biggest fan. Well, not the biggest by size exactly, but you get the message. Also, why the hell are they barefoot? It's like people are turning into humans from the Wall-E film before our very eyes. $20 says they both ordered Diet Cokes because they're watching their weight. She ate so much KFC that her clothes literally became KFC. Number 21, the insanity continues as this woman's daughter identifies as an animal. On the bright side, at least your daughter doesn't identify as a male and is taking male hormones and wanting to get her hooters chopped off. So what happens if her mom has to move to a place that doesn't accept pets? Does that mean her daughter is going to become a homeless alley cat or something? Up next, in another mother-daughter story, a 35-year-old mother hires a hitman to end her 17-year-old daughter, but gets ended herself because the hitman turns out to be the girl's lover. So he's a hitman and a PDF file. India's one hell of a country. What's this world coming to when you can't even trust a hitman anymore? Number 23, we have a British woman who's been arrested in Chicago trying to smuggle drugs in from Mexico and could be going away for 60 years. What's crazy is that's her on the left with all the filters, and on the right, that's her actual mugshot. But why 60 years? That ugly mug is punishment enough, it seems. Someone needs to make these filters illegal as well. In real life, she looks like my bus driver Kendra from elementary school. Instead of prison, just ban her from using the internet. That's more than enough punishment. Moving on, this woman is upset because she gave a guy her phone number and he texted her, but she took 2 days to get back to him. So he said not to worry, he's no longer interested. But he figured out that he wasn't her first pick, and he's most likely a high value male. If she messaged him back immediately, then he would have known that her interest was genuine. This is what happens when a 5 thinks she can play the games of a 10. Number 25 and the last one, would you get together with Greta if she looked like this? One day you'll put augmented reality glasses on, and even the most unattractive women will look hot. Looks like a lot of guys have a Greta fetish out there, because I'm seeing more and more of these images everywhere. Looks like a lot of guys wish she could look like this instead of a Down syndrome Debbie, with a touch of fetal alcohol Angelina. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm, and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and subscribe to our links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.